in the game already. Lovely.
Oh, fantastic.
So both it's a so it's Hatebreed and Dark Elf 1700, and I remember right, MartinSeptim's Wood Elf is about the same. He's missing one of his good catches.
Oh, an elf off. What a thrill.
Yeah, but at least it looks like an even game.
Yes, whereas the other one looks horrific. Those poor Underwhelm are going to be deleted in, I would imagine, less than a half. Although you never know, Blood Bowl is a weird and fickle mistress.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, two-head goblins can go where they want, which can sometimes create all sorts of opportunities.
The question is how many times they can go anywhere.
Yeah, not many once they're all dead, I would suggest.
And with multiple tackle multiple pylons, it could go very fast. So we've got Wood Elf on offense, which probably suggests that Dark Elf won the coin toss.
Yes, you'd have thought so. In an elf versus elf, you want to kick, don't you, really?
Yeah, it's like with most. I'm still in the theory that most of you want to kick anyway because you want as many as possible for your 1 turn and turn 8.
Yep.
Not in turn 16 where you probably don't have enough whatsoever.
And I mean, against elves, it's a bit less relevant, but against any other former hybrid team or a armor-based team or strength-based roster, I hate the pejorative term basher.
Yeah.
Then you want the most elves you've possibly got to try and either stop them or turn them over in the first half.
Yeah.
And you'll back yourself to still score even with only, say, 5 or 6 elves in the second half. So.
And it also, your 1 turn odds is drastically better if you have a proper team to set up.
Yeah. Yeah, so you want to 1 turn at the end of the first half, having ideally either turned them over or, you know, stopped them. And if that doesn't work, you 1 turn, and then whatever you've got left, you can probably still score in the second.
And hopefully late enough to still wins.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But it's for a Dark Elf team, he's got 3 tackle, which is not nice news for Martin and the Wood Elves.
No, the tough thing for the Dark Elves here is they've got to try and be the Dwarves, don't they, or be the Basher team. You know, in every matchup, one of the things you look at, it's not as simple as that, obviously. I'm massively oversimplifying. But one of the things you look at is, am I the Elf here, or am I the Dwarf here, or the Basher here? And sometimes even as a Dwarf coach, you know, if you're facing enough Claw Mighty Blow piling on, you've got to think, okay, this game I'm an Elf. An elf that can't run anywhere, can't dodge, and doesn't have any agility skills, but still, you know, I have to get away from things, I have to elf wall. I can't go to war.
And yeah, there's no doubt Hatebreed is hoping to chip some elves so he don't have to drive against 11 elves.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think
that's a painful experience even for Dark Elves.
Yeah, absolutely. Now there is some bench here, isn't there? They've each got a 12.
Yeah, it's quite similar. Like it's quite even game. This one, I think. Dark Elf even have a sure hands to counter the strip ball, war dancer, and I don't think. There's lots of guard on the Wood Elf team, but a lot of the guards is not well protected, so to speak.
Yes, they're the sort of guards that you can put them in for that one key turn, but if you actually try and, you know, form any form of guard wall and do anything with them, they are going to fall apart.
Is that there's a babe for the Dark Elf? I think that's it.
Yeah, a babe, and they won the fame, so they've got 2 little advantages there, maybe. But of course, they'll probably be hoping that with their armor, they have less outs anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, there's just nothing else to get, is there?
No.
We still don't have the cheerleader and the coach on Fumble either, do we?
No.
The 20k inducements, which is a bit of a shame.
Well, I mean, they'll come in when BB2020
Yeah.
comes in, presumably. They're not really official until that rule set, and as we haven't moved to that rule set yet, the more sort of
Official in
granular
2006.
inducements, which I think are a great. I mean, I've always thought, you know, inducements only starting at 50k is a little silly. There's easy things you could throw
Yeah,
into less.
they did. That's why they introduced the coaches in 16.
Yeah.
For the 20k, which made all the sense in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming in.
And as you know, from what everyone hears, there's a lot more inducements on the way, which is it's all good. Anything that adds silly, random fun and different options that changes the meta, that makes people think is all to the good. The game is far too ossified right now. It needs to be refreshed. And we're certainly getting that with BB2020. Not all the ways they've changed it I like, but you know, change was needed. So I'm prepared to sit my usual somewhat bloody-mindedness aside and give it a jolly good go.
And no matter what you did, and no matter what they did, it will never be to everybody's taste anyway.
No, of course not.
And yeah, it's a bit more aggressive than a lot of players will have been playing this. I think most players seem like it's a alpha. Quite often you end up, like Gary was saying, dancing around the middle line for like 5 turns without actually really
and
going
because
anywhere.
that's what the wood elves. I mean, the ideal wood elf here is to not have to Dakka. Just hold the strong line around the tree, keep the ball in the backfield, and then attack in turns maybe 5, maybe 6, depending how the field looks.
Yeah.
So as the Dark Elves, I quite like the idea of saying, well, I'm not going to fall for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some space if you want to push forwards early, but you're going to have to because I'm also coming into your backfield after your ball carrier.
Yeah, I personally don't like. I'd rather being up around my players with my ball carrier, but that's how I normally play in general.
I do too, but then you and I have a similarity there in that we quite like dangling a bit of leg out, don't we?
Yeah, and it just if you get the right option, I don't really want to waste it. I want to be able to go with it. And if you ball
sometimes you need to show them a little something that they feel they can attack because it creates the space for you on the next turn.
Yeah, that's the normal wood elf dancing from side to side, waiting, giving a little bit here and there, and waiting to see when he gets off balance.
Yeah,
so you can
absolutely.
Oh, Dark Elf the same, and then just run around the corner on him.
That's a nice position. I mean, the Dark Elves have really taken over that right side of the field, but they've got enough still on the left side of the field to hold a reasonably strong defensive line. But they're creating some backfield pressure, so a lot for the elves, the wood elves, to think about this turn. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Hatebreed is not bad. And he plays a lot of Dark Elf. That's like a shit ton, I think.
Well,
can you do? Can you do?
I quite like the build as well, with the not too overdeveloped witch. Lots of spread out. I always think elves. It's nice because every elf is a tool of destruction. So I quite like some spread out skills. Interesting, he chose to leave an unskilled blitzer on the bench and then put some no skill rookies on the line.
Yeah, I was about to say that almost looked like it's his standard setup. It's not there, and because it doesn't have a skill, he didn't recognize it.
Right. Yeah, it might be that. Yeah.
Because to be honest, the different elves look fucking the same on Dark Elf.
BB2, I can hardly tell anything apart. I mean, the humans to me all look exactly the same. I have to mouse over to tell the difference between a lineman and a catcher. I do think a design brief for absolute clarity, when glancing at it as to what player is what, should be paramount in a game like this.
Now go away, or I shall taunt you a second time.
So what has he put? Yeah, so he's played like 1,000 BB2 games with Dark Elf.
Yeah, that is more than one, isn't it?
And it's like over half his game. It's like what 55% roughly or something of his games has been with Dark Elves on Blood Bowl 2.
Well, I mean, some people do just find a race they love and mine that for everything they can get. People think I do that with dwarves. They should have a look at my races played stats sometime. Not on BB2 though.
No, not on BB2.
Where I have mostly played just dwarves.
Yeah, it is funny, and it's funny from which if you ask somebody what I'm playing, it will probably be depending on where they know me from and which time they know me from.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, most people think of you on Fumble as a High Elf player, don't they?
Probably.
But tabletop, probably better known for Wood Elves and maybe Amazons.
The Dark Elves.
And Dark Elves, yes. You do play some Dark Elves.
Probably not as much Amazons and Undead, which is the two races I actually played a lot with tabletop. But mainly Wood Elf and Dark Elf. And on Blood Bowl 2, most will still remember.
All notably tier 1 races, aren't they?
Of course. I would like to win. I'm not an idiot.
See, I love the of course. No defensiveness, no bullshit about it. Yes, I play tier 1 races because I like to win.
And on Blood Bowl 2, you will see, Amazons when I qualified those 9 seasons in a row with Amazons every season. And getting banned from Sigonith's chat.
Yes. KFoged is now best known as a toxic showboater that deliberately humiliates other well-known brilliant coaches.
I went to the cup 9 times more than you ever had done with Amazons. I've been to the semis and the quarters with them. That's not bad for how bad they are. I had like one of the semi-final team I played was bad. The one I lost to Wood Elf one turn in the quarterfinal was a team that could have won it.
Have you reached the Chalice final?
Nope. I keep losing the semi-finals.
So I've got further in the Chalice than you have.
Yep.
Just saying. Not.
Yeah.
You know.
You also won a blitz bid. I haven't.
I have. Yes, I have won a blitz bid. That's true. But you know what they say? A stopped clock is right twice a day.
I know. Yeah. I should probably have been less stubborn about which races I played at Blitz bid at times. But that's how it is sometimes. And Andy did that with High Elf.
He certainly did, although to some degree I prefer to think of it as other people lost it.
But and you won a Dome for some bizarre reason.
Yes, a competition he invented and then won. And Gideon, I am of course joking. I think Andy, and I've said this many a time in public and will always do so, I think Andy is a lovely guy and a very, very good Blood Bowl coach. Weirdly, despite him ever so slightly overrating himself maybe, I think he's underrated by most other Blood Bowl 2 coaches.
Yeah, he's some of his interesting round 1 losses in the cup has maybe his image a bit.
And no surprise, Garen, I think Andy's a very, very good coach, capable of winning anything he sets his mind to. However, on his Twitch stream, it does say he's the best coach playing in CCL. And I think that's a little... it's positive thinking. Yes, Timmy, but that's a joke and we all know it. Whereas you sense he's somewhat serious.
Yeah, it doesn't say that on mine. Let's can see that's I think different styles.
Yes, and I mean obviously him and Zunk, you know, they make part of their living, I think, from streaming. So understandably, they need to self-promote and talk themselves up. And
but who's actually reading a Twitch bio?
Well, presumably the people that then buy his figure. from Grebo Games and paint it up to look like Andy, and then put it on their shelf where they can see it at night as they... I'm not going to finish that. I'm not going to finish that. I'm going to leave it there. Terrifyingly, there's also a figure of Zunk. I'm sure there's someone out there that's painted up as Zunk. Ugh.
That specs are fine.
I love them both. I think they're lovely guys, great streamers, and Andy is a very good Blood Bowl coach.
I got the most pack I can get out of this little shitty desktop I got. It also gets slightly hot.
So, whilst we said that we'd like the idea of the wood, we should probably talk about the game a bit more. We liked the idea of the Wood Elves, bringing the ball up to the line.
Yeah, that's more my style.
It makes the Dark Elves be a bit more aggressive. It protects that backfield sweep around that the Dark Elves are trying to do. They're now incredibly tight, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're also 2 players up.
Yeah, they're getting the chips.
1 player
the Dark
up
Elves are not.
Yeah, I think that's Apple is good. I think he needs.
Yeah, I think you can't afford to go 2 down at this point in the game. Even at KOs, and that's a nice piece to lose as well. It's one of his tackles. It's a sidestepper. It's a blodger. It's got so much use against elves that he really doesn't want to be without it. The other one that went out, it's only a blodger, not perhaps a vital.
Will Dave ever play Blood Bowl 2 or Blood Bowl 3? I am. I don't know. I'm wrangling by going a little bit optimistic about Blood Bowl 3 and just cannot wait to see how much of a shit show it is. But the beta will start at one point and we'll see.
I'm positive and cautious. They've had 2 chances to learn. I do think BB2 was in some ways better than BB1.
But not in all, was it?
No, not in all. Look, I'm hopeful. I always want things to be good. I want Blood Bowl to be good. I want everyone to play good Blood Bowl. However, past track record makes me cautious about Blood Bowl 3, of course.
To be fair, he has played a not fumble, so people can make their own mind up if AD is full of shit or not.
Yeah, no, Adev is a very good coach. He's got an extensive track record on fumble. Has he ever played BB2? I don't know that he ever has. I don't think he will again.
He's tried a bit, but his computer had problems with it, if I remember right.
Yeah, it makes my laptop run as hot as the surface of the sun. And in the new year, I'm actively seeking a new computer. I think I might even try and build my own if I've got the time to do all the YouTubes and work it out.
For what you get for Blood Bowl 2, it's stupidly extensive.
Yes, let's hope for Blood Bowl 3 they've hired someone that, I'm told the word is optimizes, that optimizes their code a bit better. Yeah, absolutely terrific. Anything that brings new people in. I mean, since the Blood Bowl 2020, I refuse to call it Season 2 because that's a shit name, was announced. I don't know about here, but on Fumble we've seen a load of returning coaches. And what I think of as new coaches that haven't played for maybe 15, 20 years. And have never played online, coming on and saying, I'm getting back into Blood Bowl with the new rules. So let's really hope it sees an influx of people under the age of 40 playing Blood Bowl. That would be lovely.
It doesn't actually either say Season 2 anywhere on the rules book itself.
It's a horrible name.
It's just saying Blood Bowl, the game of fantasy football, the official rules. That's all that it actually says, and I'm kind of trying to show it.
I mean, nobody minded BB 2016, and I think hence when it got called by the community Blood Bowl 2020, I think everyone adopted that, and that seems like a good name, and it tells us where we are in terms of everything. It's a much better name than Blood Bowl Season 2.
To be fair, the elves versus elves, so we're just waiting for the game to actually start. Right now, it's just it's touchy feeling where you feel each other. And
yeah, briefly it looked like a game was going to break out, didn't it, in the second term when the Dark Elves tried to sweep around the right-hand flank.
And then they got a KO.
Then the Wood Elves pulled forward into a cage and said, no, we don't want to play Blood Bowl yet. Of course, to some degree, that plays a little into the hands of the Dark Elves, who do have some sidestep pieces. One he's just used an apoth to keep in the game, and another one he's just moved up towards the cage. So that's going to make the woodies think a little harder. But of course, they've always got the option of just either side swapping to a new cage position, or of course piling themselves around the tree and trying to make it in some way relevant to this game.
Yeah, they did that for a couple of turns where they were hanging around. Oh, okay, you missed that completely.
Yes, Volk, there's a clip that you did of...
No, I actually clipped it later just to see... No, your stream has
okay.
nothing to do with it. It was... I think I recently didn't have anybody else to watch and looked into, tried to watch Sigini's stream, and I figured out and discovered I was banned. And after a long time, somebody finally asked him, and I got banned from showboating. And when I scored to 5-0 in the game against him, and I thought it was because I was active. Then I realized it might have been because I was like running a pattern or something. But it turned out it was just literally for scoring the 5th touchdown. Because I've just run. Actually, I did run the 5th touchdown straight in. Probably because I didn't want to look like an idiot. I didn't want to showboat, so I just run it straight in just to score up because he could double.
Yes, but that was the 5th touchdown,
yes.
wasn't it?
Yep, but it meant he was 2 star player points from my skill.
Yes, I mean, there were good reasons from your side. From his side, I think he saw the rudeness of you not just standing there and let him pop
Callbacks. I can show you the clip. I'm just running it straight in. Because you said that, and so I did clip it. So I actually did find the game and clipped it.
For a touchdown dance.
Because I literally...
Were you dancing? Were you... Isn't that just an animation?
It's really funny because I thought exactly I've been doing a dance or something. But I might actually have thought about not wanting to do that. This is my 5th touchdown. So it's definitely not the 5th one. I might have been doing... I normally do zigzagging on other stupid stuff just because it looks more fun.
To watch fumble on the side, yeah. What is it with the Page brothers? I'm going to call back a little bit in chat and answer that a tiny bit. They are, in my opinion, they're very used to streaming at a time where Blood Bowl 2 isn't that active. And they are, to some degree, the dangerous fish in a somewhat small pond. And every time I've seen them in the Chalice come up against a stronger pool of coaches, they get a little bit found out and get a little bit salty about that. Because they're used to, obviously, you know, a high record of wins and dominating games.
And they still do. Ziggy's
and
still number 1. And
Ziggy's... I mean, they're decent Blood Bowl players.
He did get salty on me. I don't know what's this with me and those two. And apparently my my open view to communicating is not working well.
Right.
Which one of them, Drew?
So as I've said, the elves, the wood elves, have obviously swapped the ball side, tried to defend it over the other side of the tree, leaving the dark elves out of position, and now trying to take some elves out as they get back in front of it. I wouldn't be worried about that forwards elf at this point, but yeah, he's double marked it. I think what he's trying to prevent is a push forward to another cage, to another base around where that elf is, rather than actually denying a scoring threat.
But yeah, and I might have run zigzags or other stupid stuff in one of the other ones. I also would have always tried to score with the catcher, like running diagonal into the corner, up in the right corner, because then the wood elf is jumping headfirst into the tombstones behind it. because I don't really particularly like the animation in general, but that at least I find slightly funny.
Well, it might have been that then.
Yeah, and sometimes when you run like zigzags and stuff, the elves getting like lost in the animation where it just runs somewhere different and drags it back, which just looks funny. Yeah, I'm playing Casper Master Page tomorrow at 1 UTC, so that should be funny.
That should be.
Yeah, when it like it lags out and then drags the. My most watched clip on Twitch is a player getting dragged in, like that.
Are you planning to stream that tomorrow, Kay?
No. I'm sure he's going to stream it.
Oh, good. They'll be aware of watching it then.
No, I don't particularly. I don't really enjoy. I prefer casting, and I don't prefer actually trying to cast games. I actually
I'd love to. As I said, I don't have a rig ready to cast yet, or I would cast an independent view upon it.
Yeah, and if anybody of the ones want to cast it, they're more than welcome. I'm not going to cast it because that's just too much stuff going on then.
Yeah, it's too much taxing on the computer and something else to draw your attention away. I'm amazed that people like Rick Reckless can play and cast at the same time, even with something like Blitzpit with its 1 minute turn. I think that's heroic.
It's 1 UTC.
No idea how he manages it. Right, so that's the little promotory Wood Elf drive stopped.
Yeah.
So now they're going to have to think again. As I said, I think they were going to try and make a new base around where that elf got to, rather than use it as a scoring early option. It's the last thing these Wood Elves want to do.
Yeah, it's bad for you. Yeah, probably not. I don't really have time to ask around, and I got a pretty full schedule tomorrow myself. Yep. My most watched clip on is something as silly as a line.
One in a row.
Oh shit! And it's back with Dan.
It's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was an attritional attempt to try and get that that nasty sidestepping tackler out of there, but
yeah,
of course that's also the strip baller, isn't it? It's not. Yes, so I still have to check what all these little pictures mean.
That would be good if you can. Look, and hey, Pancho, I'm like, if I just CCL or random league games, I don't mind so much. But higher team value tournament games is just so many skills to keep track on top. It's just annoying. Yep. He's been a lot in the playoff with Amazons and other stuff. I don't think he's got that far. It's my most watched clip. It's been watched like 800 plus times. It's hilarious. It's that's what I'm trying to do when you like run around randomly, try to make it do stuff like that. I'm not sure about. God. This is where we fin, but I guess. Ah, yeah, he's playing North as well, you're right. I think you should... I probably have been actually... I know he's want to protect the catcher, but you could have thought about keeping those two line elves around the tree, honest, and giving you more players to go right, help going right to that catcher. And... Did you just straight out snake first? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind.
One reroll one. So.
Can he get 3 dice on the witch elf? Yeah, he can. I'll just do that. Just get 3 dice on the witch elf and score. It is live. Why are you not
Well, then
getting...
presumably he's going to try and... Yeah,
Oh, isn't it turn 8? Why are you not just getting 3 dice?
it is.
I'm confused. I know he needs to go for it, I guess. I still
Single
done
go
3.
for it, so
I
he did
still
have
do,
to move it. Yeah.
yeah, but I still done 3 dice.
I mean, he didn't. Well, he didn't have to move it, did he? He had a route down the side. But yeah, if you're going to hit it well. I think there was enough players to get around and give you 3 there.
Yeah, there must have been like 1, 2. The Garda couldn't have been. Yeah.
I mean, is he that worried about the tripwire? No, because he hasn't put the people in place in case it fails. So there were at least 4 other elves that did nothing that turn that could have made that 2 die, 3 die.
My 5th touchdown was straight down to the end zone, but I didn't actually check the other 4. I might have zigzagged to one of the other ones. But I was starting by the 5th thinking about his feelings. Didn't want to make him feel bad. Look at that showboating.
Yeah, I think now any time wood elves score, we should label that as showboating. It's something they don't need to do. It's just they're just doing it to humiliate the opponent.
Yes, if we catch it in the end zone on another player on a trip up, it will still be a touchdown.
Yeah, I wasn't sure there was a lot of excuse for leaving that many elves back. I mean, the Dark Elves didn't have a scoring threat, so even if the tripwire failed, it was going to be all right, but still. Either get the 3 dice or put a bit more support around, but... Now, an offset line image, which is very much the anal sex of Blood Bowl at the moment, in that everyone's doing it, and I'm not 100% sure why.
I must admit, I'm in the grouping thinking of, in most situations, that your setup doesn't really matter much in most games. Besides,
Yeah,
you just need to hide the
increasingly
players.
I feel the same.
Besides, like blitz and stuff, obvious reasons. But
Yes.
hiding the only reason makes is hiding your players. A lot of teams, even how much space you give them down the side, they're never gonna take it anyway. Because they shouldn't.
They shouldn't. Sometimes it's nice to give them it and tempt them into trying.
But in most...
But other times also, I mean, sometimes I set a wide defence not to stop them getting down the wings, but so that I've got the option of overpowering a wing on defence if I want to. Rather than them hemming me into the central fight area.
But how much
now, this
does it
setup's very interesting. This is certainly non-standard for a NAF 1-turn defence.
I don't... that's double guard, though.
Yeah, the guards are in interesting places, aren't they? I'm not sure they're helping as much as he thinks they are. I think they could be 1 step back and still be as effective.
No, the thing is kind of not because of the lack of Dark Elf guard.
Yes, and of course leap gives him some options that otherwise... So that one behind the tree, a leap into that square and attacking the 2 diagonally would give a lovely push. So that guard there really does help. Okay, yeah, no, maybe I do like this. The more I look at it, the more I'm seeing some good things about it.
But not really, because what you do is you can block. You could block one of them back, or you don't even need. If you want 2 dice on your first block, you block one of them back on 1 dice, and say that's fine, and then you can get 2 dice up in a sidestep from the other one.
Yes, block versus no block. Any of 5 results are good for you, aren't they?
Yeah, but you kind of, and you just need it down, and then you got 2 dice on a blitz from down besides the guard. And you can even do that as a 1 dice into the rest of them being 2 dice, so you don't even need that. Did you find my TD dance? Which one was it? What was my showboating? I really didn't. I couldn't be asked to look at all 5 touchdowns. I just looked at the last.
Well, there's so many to choose from. That's the problem.
Which one was it? Probably not that one either. What did I do? Oh, I did run a bit to the side in that one and scored from the middle as a good rugby touchdown. Of course, you either score in the corner or in the middle. Oh yeah, oof. Didn't I? 3 extra squares. Fuck me. Yeah, you can, but you can. Yeah, you could also block the line. You can just frenzy. There's so many options. Oh yeah, that was what I did, Trev. But yeah, like.
There used to be a thing on Fumble that if you cleared the pitch, you would put your players into the shape of a smiley face and then just end turns.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Do it do that? Do you think you can do it? If you think you can do it, you just put a card out. You just do the 1 dice, which will push him back, and then he's definitely not doing it.
Yes, I was going to say, so what's your target here? Would you hit the witch or the sidestepper? Which?
I think it depends if you believe how much you believe he's able to do. Because it's a 2+. It's a 3+ to move the sidestepper back with a reroll. And if you move the sidestepper back, it's so hard.
Then it's done. Yeah, it's done.
No, it's movement
pretty
set.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, the witch can still get there, but it's much less likely. Yes, I was going to say, I think he's going to blitz the blitzer by the tree, isn't he?
We say going for the annoying leap, strip ball thingy thing.
Yeah, no, that makes some sense.
Nice, lovely stun.
Sure. And a much more solid defense, frankly.
Yeah. Which is funny enough also easier when you know where you want to go. He's still got pretty much the same sidestep option he had before.
Yeah.
He can still get that into a chain on a 4+ though now. Can he even if he moves? Can you even get it in? That's a bit tight, but
I think the leaper stunning really, really helps here for the Wood Earls. That's such a nice piece to be able to just put into any hole you need filled. Or if you decide you need the blitz backwards from the outset. But it's not available. I don't see the Dark Elves doing this, but, you know, I've been wrong before.
ankles. Yeah, his last push over did change a bit. But don't you just... But you can still... you do the 5... It's still not easy, but you can do the 5+ in to start it all. Which right now is a red dice, but if you move one player, it's a 1 dice. But this is 5+, so it's just 5+, 5+.
Oh, yeah, 4 dice didn't get the push he needed.
Okay, that way in. But that's the problem is, of course, by not getting the dodge, not getting the push on first is it's a ton of pushes.
Yeah. My 11-year-old son has just said goodnight. He played his first game of Blood Bowl yesterday.
Oh.
He took on the mighty AI and humiliated it. I think we're building up to him playing a game against a human at some point in the next few weeks. Which he'll be doing on my account under my name, as I've still yet to work out how to set this secondary identity thing up. It's a bit beyond me. Plus, I don't give a damn about stats or that sort of thing. He chose to play as Orcs because he wanted something with a little bit of, strong armor and the chance of getting some development. I mean, he's 11. He needs something that, motivates him and makes him feel, even if it doesn't go well, he's getting somewhere. So I think Orcs are always a good thing to start on. They're not, though, terrific, are they? They're just numbers. You can read into them whatever you want. I mean, I know people with 80% win rates who are terrible at Blood Bowl, and people with 50% win rates who I'm genuinely frightened of facing. I mean, frightened, you know what I mean. Yeah, I definitely didn't do that, and I've yet to play him on a tabletop. I think he'd find it a little demotivating to lose to his daddy, so as and when we do play, I shall probably be the goblins and let him be the dwarves.
And that Joseph Stalin talking about the lovely names of Hatebreed's team. Joseph Stalin doesn't want to play. So he's staying out, which means the rest of the 11 out. He's a rookie blitzer is forced on the pitch now. But I'm pretty sure Martin is pretty happy with this outcome. He's still got 12 elves. He can bend his one-turner.
Yeah, it's the perfect first half for the Wood Elves, isn't it?
It's scored into a 8, can bend his one-turner without problem.
Yeah, no attrition, Apoth dry, still got all 12.
Then it's suddenly alright starting.
It's the dream first half for Wood Elves.
Then it's alright starting on offense.
Well, because now, even if it goes 1-1, he's got a reasonable chance of having enough elves for a good stab at a one-turn touchdown himself in 16. If it all goes horribly, you can just lie down and wait for that one-turn chance or a 50% chance of the overtime ball. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That's not the piece he wanted the ball on.
No.
So he's swapped it to one that is almost identical in its elf hitting abilities, which I don't quite understand, but there we are.
No, it's your hands.
Yeah, against the strip, but
there's no reason not to use your hands when you have one and the other one has strip ball. Like, that's yeah.
But again, I mean, to some degree, wouldn't it be nice to get them to come and attack your ball? I mean, otherwise you may never see those dancers all half.
He shouldn't see the dancers all half anyway. Besides if in a position where he's fucked, if it works. So you could dangle a leg, but I don't think you shouldn't see the dancers between if it's pretty given that you can run away with it. And he's bent his 85, which also suggests he's like
very confident of his one-turning ability.
Yeah, and it's
now, is there? I mean, you're a Dark Elf expert, of course. So you tell us: is there any chance here that you would be scoring in anything other than turn 16
against Wood Elf? Fucking no.
Even if you killed half of them, maybe?
Maybe half of them. There's still the odds. You still rather want them to fail the one turner than give them 2 turns with half a team.
So already as Dark Elves, you're thinking, I win this in overtime.
Yeah. But you probably still need to kill a couple to do that.
Yeah.
They are just 11 versus 11. If you don't get the ball in overtime, you're pretty fucked.
They're still better elves, aren't they? That's the problem.
If you cannot get rid of any, so. And he got rid of one, but is mine just stopped?
We can't see an Apoth on that, can we?
Is your counting down? Oh, there it comes.
Yeah.
Mine just didn't count. It's a bit bizarre. It's still not counting.
No, I'm stuck on it too. So have we got a disconnect or something, or?
Race quick. Yeah, mine is now not looking at it, but still stopped. Hey, here it come.
Oh, there we are.
Could have been a little bit.
So that didn't change very much. We've had 1 sent off in return for a kick, a knockout. But of course, it's you know, the Dark Elves have a bench. They're still at 11 for the next drive, assuming no more chipping.
And assuming Josef is coming back from his sleeping.
No, I don't know about you, but I absolutely hated that foul. But
yeah.
I can understand why the Dark Elves really feel the need to get some attrition going.
Yeah, I'm not done it.
I just didn't feel it was a piece I wanted taking out.
No, kick is annoying, but it's not that annoying. And especially not when you're not having... It would make more sense if it was actually you that had the last turn. But you're not even... It was
yes, you're not helping your 1 turn there, because the Dark Elves aren't going to get that 1 turn this half. I mean, either of the guards, I would certainly be looking to foul if I can, if I've got a bench. Certainly the War Dancers need kicking in the face. It's the only language War Dancers understand.
Yeah, maybe not.
And I mean all War Dancers, not just these War Dancers.
Potentially
and all people that coach War Dancers.
I'm not even sure I will kick the sidestepper with this Dark Elf team, because you have 3 tackle pieces. So the sidestepper I would probably even that well leave alone. And now you're down to 11.
Yeah, now you can't foul a good target of opportunity unless it's, you know,
the War Dancer,
I mean, still the Dancers you would probably foul.
I'll foul the strip ball, tackle, sidestep, jump up. I'll not even foul the sidestepper now, because it's just a sidestep blotcher. It's not much better.
Yeah,
in this match,
it's not the end of the world. And against Elves, it's a lot less of a problem than it is against a strength-based team, where, you know, sidestepping into the wrong position can really ruin how you've set up.
Yeah, but a kick elf when you don't even have, potentially in your hope, he's not even going. He's just gonna kick 1 more time to you if you're lucky, but that's it. He might not even. Yeah, he has.
No, I think it was a desperate attempt to get some attrition going, to try and get up on numbers.
It was.
And hence get a little bit of a snowball going where you can get a few elves later on, and it's massively backfired. Was it
in the final where he famous did that completely weird sequence play that turned out to be the perfect way of rolling the dice? Was that in his final? I didn't see it, so I don't know. But there was something with Hatebreed doing something in a slightly bizarre order, but it turning out fitting exactly what the dice was rolling instead. Where if he done it the right way around, he'd be failing.
That's Blood Bowl. I mean, an absolute moron like my son couldn't roll 3 6s and do anything.
There's lots of people that won jealous. What can I say? But I'm still, yeah. I'm still not.
Okay, so now the drive has fallen apart to the point where we've had to run away with the ball, which is always an interesting moment.
He had plenty of players. He could have done the same as the Wood Elf, standing around the middle line.
Yeah, and moved around if the cage got threatened, but I'm also not entirely sure why we're pushing up the side where the tree is. I mean, perhaps we're trying to get the tree even further to the side and then swap sides and isolate it, but... Well, the tree having rooted makes it obviously a lot less of an issue.
But he's
But
doing.
now he can leave a dancer back and bring a dancer forward with a little bit of support, which he's sort of doing. And then the Dark Elves have really got some decisions to make. Yeah.
For them. Yeah, and
I like this Wood Elf play.
yeah, and the reason one of the reason again, like I said, I don't particularly like splitting the ball away from my team is now exactly this. If you want to connect everything together again, he either needs to at least, as minimum, he needs to do a handoff in an awkward position where if it fails,
Yeah, I mean, he's now got 3 different sets of Dark Elves, which is it's not ideal. It really isn't. I mean, it might be against a slower team, but against something as quick and as agile as Wood Elves, if you split yourself up, they will divide you further and get between the ball and where you want it to go. I mean, it's solvable, but it's more of a risk and a worry than I think he needed to take.
Yeah.
And I think the Wood Elves have closed this down really, really nicely. I really liked that turn.
And now he needed
a lot of threat and a lot of good places. And yeah, hence we're seeing some early risks, which.
And now I better liked him actually. To be fair, I don't like this plan at all because this is asking for 5+. If he wanted to do anything, he could have bloody blitzed that Wood Elf line elf and just handed off the ball and moved everybody down there. And just. I
mean, to be fair, it was 2 dice, so it was a 5+, but on either of 2 dice. So
yeah,
it's about 50%.
It's still a 5, but that's still bad.
It's
having
not a
to
great
roll
plan.
it.
Yes. Any plan that relies on something that is 50% not going to happen there's better plans, surely.
Better, like you could have.
And now those 3 Dark Elves up on that flank are very isolated. And if we are going to pass and try and stall down the far end, we're now going to have to pass over an elf, which is not ideal. That's the one I would have probably hit.
Yeah. You hit and hand off and just run down with the line elf. And you might end up
or even, I mean, a cheeky 3+ pass isn't the end of the world. It's not ideal. Yeah. Oh, we're stalling there. Okay.
Yeah. Which is not great.
No. I mean, if we'd hit that line out, that Wood Elf that's between us and the other Dark Elves, we could have done a cheeky 3+ or a handoff, and we could have run down the other end of the field and then tried to get our stall back together down there. But this just all looks very disjointed to me at the moment. I mean, a sidestepping blodger needs to fear very little. Somewhat like all Chug's ball carriers. It can just stand there and take it if it needs to.
Yeah, let's put it that way. He needs to roll a lot more if the Wood Elf doesn't just get 2 dice on the board if we want to. The question if you need to do it. We'll probably do it now.
Well, I mean, I think I can get 2 dice on this ball somewhat easily. If that's what I want to do.
But you probably want to do the 3+2+ with the dancer to get it cover.
Yeah, even the recovery isn't that bad, is it? I think that was a couple of very poor turns for the Dark Elves, with a really, really nice turn for the Wood Elves in the middle. Have really changed what was looking a very pedestrian game now into a very tough one for the Darkies. If the Wood Elves play another blinder this turn, we could see this more or less over.
So, sidestep catcher can go to the sideline.
Yeah.
I will personally probably use the sidestep dancer to mark the tackle, the block Witch Elf. And then do the 3+2+ for the score.
Yeah, I'd have left that one dry for the recovery.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well. And okay, so he wanted to go for the.
And then a 1 in 9 fail, 2s and 2s.
Okay, so instead of using, I can see what he doing it that way is you can use 1 less player.
Yes, but the recovery I thought was going to be trickier. That line elf was so near where the ball was going, wherever it went, that it could recover and move on beyond it before throwing a cheeky little pass.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it was an easier attack, but with perhaps less good, second phase, the recovery and dealing with the ball.
And you also
And
lose
now, of course, we lose the Lion Elf over the side, and the Dark Elves can run up this flank because of that 1 in 9 fail.
No, it was the Wardens. It was 3+2 plus to do the blitz. And I think the elf did a 2+ like he should.
Just my son is here. He just wants to tell everyone what his favourite Blood Bowl race is.
Dwarves.
Good lad. Now he's off to bed.
No, it was a 2+. And now he gets away with it. That was...
Yeah, and I
Was it
do feel
3+?
this is getting away with it. A 1 in 9 fail. I mean, I wouldn't have tried that plan.
No,
but
it dodge is 3+, but +1. That's how it is.
Yes.
That's one of the That's one of the things they tried to clean up.
Because of the incredibly well-written Blood Bowl rules. But that has now been simplified. Instead of it's all agility, but most agility rolls get a natural +1. Now they've made it basically all 1 harder, but removed the automatic +1 on just about everything.
Yeah, to make it a little bit more sensible. Jesus, we have...
Linguistic scholars fans will see it as very similar to the I before E rule, which actually has more exceptions than it has things that follow it. Maybe the wrong crowd for that reference. Perhaps something to do with programming or...
But it's, yeah. And they also actually made it more aligned with the rest of the newer systems as well, in the way all that is written. Which also makes sense. Ooh. Is that a dodge?
Oh, very nice, Vilinich. I'm going to try and remember that one.
Was that worth using a reroll? And you're not just...
I don't think so. Particularly as we are definitely looking like we're heading to overtime.
Where do we go?
I didn't see it as changing the game particularly much. And at that point, why are you using the reroll? I think this drive is pretty much done. I mean, perhaps it's around fear of the grass with its incredible ability to kill elves.
Who's talked about Elliot? What the fuck are you on, TPs? Timmy? Timmy G. Maybe the fridge is open again. And why are we going too deep to the corner in turn 13? Anybody that can tell me?
I'd love to tell you I'm struggling for a reason right now. I mean, as far away as possible from elves is always good. Let's go with that.
Okay. That is the best. That is the best reason I can see.
Yeah, me too.
It depends on what time, how close you are to actually making the 1 turn, I think.
It's a lovely position for the War Dancer. Midfield, threatening everything.
I will potentially reroll something a bit earlier than the last TFI as well, because it is It is a sure feed. It's 85 sure feed leap. But if you wanted to tempt a leap blitz, you stayed farther up as well. Now he's just going to the corner, risking getting stuck down in the corner.
Yes, the problem with the corner is it's a nice spot to defend, but it's also a very easy spot to get hemmed into and pressured into scoring early. It makes it very hard to swap sides. So you've noticed that the elves that are advancing aren't actually trying to take on the dark elves up on their flank. What they're trying to do is monster the centre of the field, so that when they do advance on that defended cage next turn, they'll probably do so from the central area, thus making it really hard for the dark elves to swap to the other side or back into the middle. That would be my guess.
But of course it's a problem that the only tackle piece on the Wood Elves team is having a nice rest.
Yes, that was the double fail, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was not only the 1 in 9 to get out of where it was and start attacking the ball, but also that it went off pitch at the same time.
Yeah, I probably can. It's a good thing when you get away with leaving a 2+3+2+ open for 2 dice on the ball. And all you get out of it, and what you get out of it is the best player on the opposite team instead is getting KO'd, instead of you losing the ball. That's pretty...
Yeah. I mean, it was what we're talking about in terms of dangling a leg, but it was sort of dangling your entire body, wasn't it? And I mean, luckily for the Dark Elves, it worked. That 1 in 9 completely changed the shape of this half. From the Dark Elves in disarray and looking like they were going to struggle to maintain their ball, let alone their drive, to a dominant position. I still don't think they've used it brilliantly, but they are certainly in a very strong place right now compared to anywhere they looked like being.
Yep. Yeah, it was not just dangling a little bit of leg, it was running around with a bullseye on your back.
Yeah.
So, come
I
shoot
thought you were
me.
going into it was running around with your balls out.
God no, I'm not Timmy. It's a one of the famous soft dicings.
Yeah, and as we see it, as I said, not just attacking the back of this cage, but trying to get proper numbers to the side of it to stop the Dark Elves swapping back into the middle or over to the other side. Difficult. He's almost at peak elf. There's not a lot of Wood Elves left on the pitch, but enough.
Yeah. That is missing a couple of Dark Elves as well.
Yes.
And yes, Timmy, we know your balls are so big you cannot stay on your chair. They drag you down off it.
Now, there's actually a saucy surf here if he really wanted to.
He shouldn't.
But he shouldn't.
Was that?
I mean, just for form's sake, what it would take is obviously the Dark Elf that's slightly away from the pitch, from the cage, getting a nice pow, and then you could hit the guard at the right angle, push the other one around the corner, and use your sidestepper to surf him.
Yeah.
Surf the naked line elf, but you're circling a naked line elf, and your whole turn would have to be about that, thus reducing your options for defending other areas. Why are we doing a 1 dice?
Because it's Dakkanda.
Yes, I understand why it's a 1 dice, but not why we're doing it.
Because then he can block everybody else without doing anything.
I felt there were other ways of getting nicer actions.
Hellboy getting pegged. Does he have anything?
Now, of course, we've got a ball hit on, but it's...
I guess you're taking it
and it's
anyway.
got to be tried, but it's 2 dice on a sidestepper. He hasn't got a tackle, but... do you re-roll this? There's so many Dark Elves there to pick it up. And the sidestepper means it's almost certainly not going out of the pitch.
Yeah, why did he sidestep there? And he
If not,
rerolls it.
Okay, well, the answer from the Wood Elves is clearly yes, you do re-roll it.
But you only
And
get
I
one
think-
turn. I understand it if it's a turn earlier, which means you get
Yeah.
2 turns.
Yeah, and you could score and be... Yeah, I don't understand that re-roll from the Wood Elves, I have to say. If it was the hit, I might consider it. But for the leap, and then 2 unre-rollable dice on a blodger, I'm not sure about that. On the other hand, had it worked, had he got the ball down, we could have seen a game-ending moment. So I don't hate it, but I'm still not sure I'd have re-rolled it.
So he needs 1 push still with the sidestep.
Yeah.
But he do tackle states out, but
I mean, again, I think what it speaks to is the confidence of Hatebreed that he can one turn, that he only needs 1 re-roll because of Martin, because he only needs 1 re-roll because there's only going to be 1 more turn.
we're trying to make sense of it. Yeah, and this is a bit of a he got guards, so that's he can even potentially so he's trying to avoid that. Yeah, exactly. It was already he was fine scoring without having to roll dice. It was perfect for Dark Elf.
Well, I mean, actually, thinking back on it, the square he leaped to meant that any sidestep was putting him next to the edge, wasn't it? I think.
No, but he sidesteps into the end zone every time in the world.
But yeah, because it wasn't a POW, but on any POW, he would have sidestepped somewhere where the ball would have been, on an edge.
Yeah, I
there's
don't
a
mind
chance
the
of a
leap.
bounce out.
I don't mind the leap at
So
all.
perhaps re-rolling the leap wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but I'm still not sure I'd have done it. I still would want to keep a re-roll for this 1 turn and then 1 safe just in case we go to overtime.
But in theory, you probably...
Particularly as the Dark Elves have the fame, so the odds of me winning a re-roll as the Wood Elves are very low.
But we... Oh, especially because he burned that re-roll on the dodge. If you had 1 re-roll more...
Yeah, then again, if you've got 3 re-rolls, then I would put a re-roll into the leap. But I mean, these are not... I can't say that was wrong, I perhaps wouldn't have done it, which is a very different statement. I mean, there are some things that are wrong.
Okay, so he got straight up 3. You take the 3 dice on one of the sidestepper with your 3, and if that's a POW, this is trivial. And if you don't get the POW, he might fuck up where he sidesteps to anyway. Yeah, I just need 1 push. Oh yeah, the sidestep by Hatebreed was bonkers as well. I have no clue. If you set up with 2, you sidestep, but why are you don't putting the last one in? It's you're just believing that Martin cannot roll a POW on 3 dice plus extra dice, and even just a push will still give some options. You just need to move it. And in theory, he doesn't even need to move it. He could also just try to dodge in behind. But of course, that's bad odds.
Or, of course, leap in behind. He
No,
still
but
has 1
oh
dodge,
shit, he
doesn't
doesn't have sidestep. Sorry, it's me that's blind. It's the tackle is strip ball, not sidestep.
And there was much rejoicing.
No, he doesn't have 3 sidestep. It's strip ball. The defense is still not really. I guess he needs to do it.
Oh, you're right. No, he doesn't have 2 sidesteppers.
Yeah, there's strip ball, the last one.
Yeah.
I'm just talking too much shit.
It's alright, we don't have to say sensible things, Cole. We just have to say things that keep the chat interested.
I see, bros.
For example, I'm
Thank you
naked
for
and
your-
touching myself.
Thank you for your raid. I might have gone. And the tree is grab, so you can just block, yeah, that's fine. Got good
The tree
point,
has grab. Oh, I've completely missed that.
but you don't
Okay, well, the problem here then is too many options as to how to do this, isn't it?
Yeah, I still don't like particularly blitzing with him. Because there's a go for it as well, or you leave the square open.
Don't you just use grab to pull the non-sidestepper out of the middle and then use
Yeah,
that?
you can do that, yeah. It's still 3 dice. The only reason you might want to just push a sidestepper and then blitz with somebody else is an option as well, just because then you can reroll. But if you don't want to reroll anyway, you might as well just grab it out. It's because I'm so blessed at getting doubles and tens on my trees. So I'm not used to the grab.
Yes, in your current chalice run, your tree doesn't frighten me, despite being block and jump up.
No.
It's your natty that worries me.
Yeah, it's a bad combination, isn't it?
Yes. An amusing meme tree and a genuinely good elf.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, the tree is just fun, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, hey Dave, you can do it 15 different ways. That's probably Martin's problem now. You can also grab the lineman out on a 3 dice.
Do you think he's frantically typing into Samba to see which is 0.01% easier?
Since I don't want to use a reroll anyway, I might do the 3 dice. I don't dislike the 3 dice out grabbing out. And
no,
then
I don't. I like that a lot.
And then just do the two dices afterwards. 2 dice, 2 dice.
I've got a grab tree. I've got a guard. I think that would be my way of doing it.
Just doing the most simple way.
Yeah. Why overcomplicate things? I think the real question to me is what route I'm taking my AG5.
Depending on how many pushes you think you can get. I'll go away from the tackle just in case. On the other hand, that way you can end up dodging. Are you going in between? I think I'll just go into the middle just because. I will probably go middle just because if you get the riot, it's better.
Well, the huge advantage of using the tree is it keeps your blitz dry.
Yeah.
So you can also knock a hole in this line wherever you choose to. Yeah. Including possibly moving the tackle if you feel that's the safest way to do it. Oh God, I didn't realise we hadn't even flicked over from the Dark Elf setup yet. There must have been a pause and a cigarette moment.
So they're not done. But the flat line doesn't make absolutely any difference because it's 85 and leap.
Yeah.
But you probably still want him to leap.
Yes, because that doesn't have a natural reroll built in.
Yeah.
However, that blitzer that's just moved back, I think, does mean that I would head down that side.
Yeah, okay.
It did just put a 3+ in where it was from the easiest route, didn't it?
Yeah, you might even
taken away.
You might even, because you got sidestep, you might even be able to push it so you can dodge around, just push around on the outside.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Or maybe even in between tackle, but then get a push out away from the tackle again.
Okay, turns out Martin does know exactly what he's planning to do, and that last-minute change of the defence doesn't seem to have altered it. He's going straight in.
But he looked like
it does look like he's going for the tree hit on the sidestepper, doesn't it?
And then the blitz in instead.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
As we said, I'm not sure there's a bad option here. It's a question of which of the good options, and I would need half an hour with Samba to work it out because I'm not a natural wood elf coach.
Yeah, you should do it. And no matter what, probably just do what you feel best for you.
I just liked the idea that the grab kept my blitz dry to either solve problems within the one turn or to create a hole if I still had it.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you kind of... The thing is, you just need the one blitz with a push on anyway.
Yeah.
So by doing this, you need to block one less time. Where you actually need pushes because you can roll anything on the first block. Besides both down, actually. You need pushes on the first one as well. But you can knock him down as well. On both of them. Well, the first one you need exactly pushes if you grab him back.
But is he...
He's pushing that one straight back, and then you can blitz down here, into there. It's fine.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
from this square down here, and you follow up with the tree and get guarded again. It's absolutely fine, but the reason to do it this way is just because then the first hit could be double pause, and you don't care, or triple
It's
pause.
fine. You don't. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a deep kick, so you're really happy for that. High kick. Oh, it's a touchback. That could end up being game over now, because now you probably...
Yeah, that's not helpful. Actually, you wanted the elf to catch that?
yeah, it's still
just to add one more dice roll in.
Yeah,
two more, the throw and the catch.
And the good thing here is, of course, you can take the knockdown, so even if you don't score, you get a match blow hit as well. So I guess that's the upside for an overtime game, is you get an extra potential damage hit.
I mean, that's the other thing with grab that we didn't overlook, but we perhaps didn't talk about openly, is the way it cancels sidestep.
Yeah, also, I did say that in the beginning, you can just push.
Yes, I haven't said it enough. So, of course, without that, the hit on the blitzer, it could have gone into the square the War Dancer wanted, and with grab it can't. So it is another use for grab, as well as pulling something out of the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So he's got his first push, but the route he's chosen, he doesn't need another one, but another one makes it very, very simple.
Yeah, I was about to say, and
it looks like he's going for the leap, doesn't it? No matter what happens.
No, but he could have moved a player in.
And then he could have pushed himself through the line.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
The hard time will be cancelling behind. No, it would probably been a problem anyway, so he probably had to do the leap anyway.
Which is one of the reasons I was looking at the grab with the tree to pull rather than to cancel sidestep, was because it would leave you the blitz to, to move that sidestepper and then be able to push again to push yourself halfway through the line. But a leap is it's a 2+ with re-roll, and then he's got a 2+ to dodge away, and then he's presumably scored. Yeah, there goes the leap.
And he got sure hands as well.
And there goes the dodge. No tripwire. We are done. And if these woodies are going to get stopped, people are going to have to find an answer to that one-turner. And the answer is kick it in the face until it's dead, long before it one-turns. Because an AG5 sidestepping catcher one-turner is so hard to stop.
At least,
no matter how you set up, it's very good odds of it working.
At least he needs one push.
Yes, one push.
You get killed. You could, for example, lose half your best players in 25% of the game played. That's
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Pushing through is nice to do, but you were still going to have to either, do a 3+, 2+ dodge, or still the leap, but then no dodge afterwards. So it's much of a muchness. The fact that it's AG5 just means everything's a 2 anyway.
Just for one dice, the other game done.